Welcome to a special edition of Black Men Screaming. I am your host, Deata Jefferson. Today our topic is race in America. Welcome to the 8th installment of The Monitor. I have been blessed to have a great panel of guests on this evening's show. It is a great honor to introduce Bryce Jeffrey, who is a prestigious lawyer. He is also an accomplished writer and author of many books, including Affirmative Traction, Get Off Welfare, Please, and the very controversial book, Cops Only Shoot Criminals in the Back. Welcome. Please welcome columnist Lillian Valdez of New York Latina Journal. Finally, I am pleased to have photojournalist, civil rights activist Cinque Diop. Welcome to you all. Tonight's show deals with race in America. Albeit a traditional topic for debate, I'd like our panel to discuss the state of America today as we embark on a new century of culture in 2002.
Sorry. First off, Deata, before we get lost in self-pity, I can already foresee the nature of this conversation. The race problem in America, if you want to call it a problem, is simple. Black Americans need to take ownership of their lives. Stop having kids out of wedlock. Stay in school. Pick up a book instead of Sega Dreamcast and get off of drugs in the hood. But most importantly, stop waiting for the white man to give them something, which is the case of the mundane, perpetual reparations preaching.
Now, Latino men and women are often a part of the same devastated communities. It is clearly a case of a socialized environment over an inherent race issue.
And I would venture to add to that that you're generalizing when you say black people. Can you quantify some of those numbers?
You know, first off, I love your American accent, by the way.
Oh, my God.
Sorry. Nevertheless, all I know is I am tired of the so-called black leadership running on the TV, moaning and crying about their lack of success. We have clearly arrived as a people. We have a black Secretary of State and a black woman as a national security advisor.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
How long are you gonna keep this fool's mic on? Clearly. This man has been locked away in a washroom, shrouded and doused with bleach, and personified in front of us today in the form of white Lenin. If you honestly think that those two figureheads and the various other puppets dispersed in Congress actually have our best interests at heart, forget not being conscious. You're not only ignorant, but you're unconscious.
Mr. Diop, I am aware of your story, and I will not lower myself to refute the babblings of a former inhabitant of the United States prison system, whom I would now hope is a reformed citizen.
Well, in your research, you may have found that he was unjustly accused and imprisoned.
What's your tight-ass suits?
So thank you for that. But now that you've mentioned it, what are your feelings about the U.S. judicial legal system, considering that Mr. Diop was falsely imprisoned?
Oh, I can answer that. First of all, I don't really think that you can use the word legal. Again, and you may have more thoughts on this, but the prison system offers no reform. In my mind, it's clear that the same forces that create these divisive, desperate economic blights force these same individuals into a life of survival and crime. And then, of course, the perpetuated fear is conveyed by the media. My goal will also be to empower my fellow Hispanics who are undergoing these same sufferings right now.
Ding, ding, people, sound the bell, school's in session, hello! Are the principals standing in front of the doors with armed guards and fatigues preventing these kids from getting into school? Enough of this! Self-pity is nothing but a lack of motivation. Get paid or get left. Lillian, you're probably an immigrant. Tell us from your perspective why so many immigrants, non-black, are able to find prosperity in the American dream. Huh?
Immigrant. For your information, I was born here, Mr. Jeffries. I do offer perspective from my people, mi gente, my ancestors who have instilled the principles of family values. No race is perfect, Mr. Jeffries. We're just different. Now, perhaps if my people had been enslaved and beaten and raped and unjustly imprisoned, murdered, sold, not educated, had their culture stolen, then perhaps I'd have a different opinion too.
Oh, but they were.
You didn't answer the question.
You know what? I'd like your perspective on that same question.
No problem.
I'll answer it. Please, allow me.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm not an American. I just live here. The Constitution was made not by my ancestors, but by white men in secret in order to protect their property and interests. The rights of the few versus the majority. Corporations are protected by these. Legislators protect these laws and should be held accountable. And until then, there is no American dream for black people in America, unless they're willing to compromise themselves to the oppressor.
Thanks for the history lesson, Booker T. But what does that have to do with black-on-black crime? Tell me. Come on.
You know, that's an interesting perspective, and I understand black-on-black crime. But then you have the white policemen who are profiling our black youngsters. What do you have to say about that?
Well, in regards to the profiling situation, I mean, yes, that has occurred, but I think it's trying to be curtailed now more so than ever.
Well, the thing is, we have people, and just as recent as a month ago, we had, what's his name's, Bryant Gumbel's son, in the wrong place at the wrong time, simply because of his skin color. And I understand you saying it's being curtailed, but it's not being done quick enough.
But you have to realize, Deanna, that nothing is fail-safe. We're trying to do the best we can. And I think we are definitely making some progress in this arena.
Well, maybe your best just isn't good enough.